What is going on? We are live, choosing us.
Yep,
Feels like forever since we've re-recorded.
it does. It feels like a while.
It's been a whole whopping week.
It's been a crazy week.
It has been a crazy week. It's not crazy. It's been an
You're right.
awesome week. It's been a fantastic week. These release a ways out from where we're at now, but we just did our Christmas present for our boys.
And it was so much fun. The best Christmas ever. So going to Disneyland, California. Wish we would have stayed longer. I know for next time.
Yep. One extra day would have helped a lot.
Oh, yeah. But that was a great trip. And I'm really excited to start doing that and start doing experiences for Christmas every year. It'll be a cool change.
And we've wanted to do this long before we had kids, but we were waiting for our boys to be old enough to remember it. Lawson, I think he'll have a slight recollection. Maybe. He might not remember it at all. Bingham definitely will.
Oh, yeah.
He's 4. I have memories of being 4 years old.
Yeah.
And it was cool because I was going for a specific thing. I wanted to instill curiosity, wonderment, and awe, which I got.
Yeah.
And I took a photo of it.
Yeah.
So when we came around the corner, we were there right at the opening of the park. We came around the corner for where it says Disneyland and the flowers and everything else. And you come around under the trainway there, and all of the characters were standing on the steps before they went out to the park to do their thing. And we came to the corner, and my son saw, the oldest 4-year-old saw Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Pluto, Minnie Mouse, the whole Mickey Mouse Clubhouse gang,
Yeah.
whom he has loved that show. He's getting a little old for it now. Doesn't like it as much, but he'll still watch it. But he loved that show, and he still thinks Mickey is super cool. And I captured a photo of him just staring with pure curiosity, wonder, amazement. And that's what I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted to see that.
Yeah. One of my favorite photos that we got was actually of the parade of me and Bingham.
Yeah.
And like how happy and excited he was. That was really cool.
Yep. And then the second photo that I love is a photo of Michaela, Lawson, and I sitting on a ride called Emotional Whirlwind. It's a spinning ride.
Yep.
And the photo, modern technology is cool. Everything is spinning behind us, and we are clear as day, smiling, happy. And I take that as an analogy for life, that you can choose to be happy even though the world is bustling, spinning, what seems to be out of control.
Yeah.
But your own little world in the little basket is calm, cool, collected, and everybody's happy.
Yep. It was a really cool experience that I'm glad we got to have.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was sweet. But that's a pretty good segue into what we want to talk about today.
Yep.
Finances.
Yep.
Finances is one of the top reasons people argue / fight. It is one of the top reasons for the divorce rate in
Yeah.
the world. Money.
Which is crazy. And at the same time, it's people just don't have conversations about money. They don't
Why?
talk about it.
Why?
I don't know. There's a stigma around it, and I guess everybody has different opinions on what you should do with your money or how you should spend it or how you should save it, that people get very intense around the finance conversations.
Opinions are like butts. We all have them and they all stink.
There you go.
When we first got together, we made the conscious decision to not have a single account, to not have a single joint account. We have 2 separate accounts that are merged. Not sure if you knew you can do that, but you can merge 2 accounts. Michaela has her own checking, her own savings, her own money market accounts. I have my own money market account, my own savings. And we made the conscious decision, since I am the breadwinner in our family, my checking account is the one we pay all of our bills with. It's the primary account. And we also made an early on decision, which I think was inspired, that Michaela, whenever she had a job, whenever she wasn't just being mom, right? When she was taking in money and it went to her account, that money was for her to play with.
Yeah.
We will start this off with it. We're not financial advisors.
No.
This is not financial advice. If you have financial questions, go ask your financial advisors.
Yes.
That is not us.
This is just our experience, our opinions, and our thoughts about what we did.
And what worked for us.
Yes.
And what works for us may not work for you, but I implore you to try things that work for you. If your situation right now is not optimal, try something different.
Yeah.
But this is what we've done.
Yeah, I think it was really good for us starting out to have the conversations. Obviously, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, talk about it now. Have these conversations now. If you feel like you need to change what you're doing, if what you're doing just isn't working, sit down and have the conversation. You can change now what you're doing with your money. Or if you're dating, have the conversations now. Find out if your partner or the person that you're dating, if they're a spender or a saver. That's the first thing you need to do.
And that is why we did what we did.
Yeah.
Michaela.
I'm no longer claiming this identity because I have been very...
A spender.
Yes. Was a spender. Very big spender. I have never really budgeted or learned to control my money or save, but that is an identity that I am removing and focusing on. I am a saver, and that's huge. You can't just say, oh, I'm a spender, like, oh, I'm so bad at spending. But
we're so good at spending.
That's very true. I am very good at that. But I want to save. I want to do better. No, you just gave yourself the identity that I am a spender. Get rid of it. Stop saying that. If you're trying to work on this, if you're trying to do better at it, I have not done great at it, but I am changing my identity to become a saver. So I am no longer a spender. I have spent money, more money than I should have spent in the past, but I am now identifying as someone who is very good at saving money and budgeting and investing. And it takes a long time. Like it doesn't happen overnight. And for some people, it's really hard.
This is just practice.
Yeah.
One decision at a time. Do I need the candy bar or do I want the candy bar? And I'm going to put the caveat that it's important to get the things that you want in life, not just the things that you need. There is a point to where it is overindulgence.
Right.
And there's a point to when it's appropriate. And that is a topic for a different conversation.
Yeah.
On understanding, one, your identity. Is it what you want or do you want to change it? You better be very careful on how you identify yourself. Is it beneficial and resourceful for you or is it unresourceful for you? If you are in a spender-spender relationship, there will be difficulty. Great difficulty. And it is wise to take your time, sit down, make a budget, and do one decision at a time. Don't just sit back and say, I'm going to save everything from now on out. That's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But simply say, I'm going to, the next time you're out shopping and you have your shopping list and you have the opportunity, ooh, this thing's on sale. Is that on your shopping list? Yes or no? Just say no to that thing. You're not saying no to everything. You're saying no to that thing. And keep practicing that over and over and over. And it's a skill. It's a muscle that you must learn to exercise.
Well, and you have to be willing to stick to whatever budget and whatever plan you set. Because I feel like that's when a lot of couples have those fights, is maybe when they sit down and create that budget and create a plan, and then one person in the relationship
Screws it up.
screws it up. And then that's where you have your fights.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of fights come from, because
Yeah.
it's like, this was the plan. This was what we decided on. Why did you not do that? And understanding that you have to take baby steps, and maybe the goal or the budget was too big, and maybe we need to figure out a way to work through that. But having those conversations is so important. And I love that we had the conversations before we got married, that we talked about what we were going to do with our finances and how we were going to do it. And I love that we have our own accounts, because I have been a spender, and it's hard for me to see the money in the account and be like, oh, we have the money in the account, so I can go spend it. Or I can go get this thing that I want because we have enough in the account. And so it's been really good for me that is the money in that checking account. That is for bills. That is for taking care of us and everything that we need. And whatever money is in my account, which now that I am a stay-at-home mom, sometimes we did for a while that every paycheck we would transfer a little bit to my account for clothes or going out to eat or getting my nails done or whatever it may be. A lot of couples, they don't have the extra money to just go out and spend on things like that, right? It doesn't always happen, especially when you're in a tight budget. But it has been good for us to have those separate accounts so I could learn how to control it a little bit better.
And she said that we have had times where we've moved money to her account to spend. There are seasons in your life. There was a season where we had more than enough, and we pushed money to her account every month. That way, like she said, she can practice, but if she wanted to, she could blow it all, because that money was there for her to spend as she wanted. And sometimes she would blow it all on one thing on the first of the month, and she's like, dang it, I have nothing else for the rest of the month. And then other months she had a surplus. This goes back to the whole study back in the 70s or 80s where they give kids marshmallows, and if you didn't eat the first marshmallow and you waited 15 minutes, you got 2 marshmallows. That's kind of what this all goes down to. Those people that can hold off on the marshmallows, over the course of the next 40 years, they've tracked those kids. They've done better in life. And it's interesting to see how we did this unknowingly. And we put this money to our account, and right now, we're not moving it to the account. We're in a different season. I'm starting another company. Everything we have is going to the new company. All of our assets are deployed. And so it's a moment of strictness and adherence. It's difficult. And do we screw up? Of course. And that's okay. And that's when you need to have a little bit of grace and understanding that nobody's perfect and we're doing our best. And here's the coolest part about all of it. My brain went totally blank just now. But it's really, really cool. Oh, I remember what I was going to go with. When we first got together, I've always had a quote unquote 0 number in our account. And when we got together, I said, this is my 0. We actually didn't have it. We said it, and then we totally blew it off. We got married. I graduated. We lived with my parents for the first year of our marriage. And then we moved into the coolest apartment because, we had to just send it. And we sent it. My $18 an hour job, that's the sole income that we had at the time. Michaela was in nail school. $18 an hour. Our rent was $13.50. That crushed us. I remember waiting for my paycheck on the 29th of the month because we were negative $150 in the account. And my paycheck, the whole thing, went to rent. And the paycheck came in, we paid rent, and we went straight back to 0. We didn't even have enough for food.
Yeah, it sucked.
That sucked. And we decided to install a zero in our account. At the time, the zero was $1,000. When our account hit $1,000, that was effectively zero. You don't go below zero because you'll get backdraft fees. And over the years, that zero has changed to hold in budgets. And in this current season, we're below zero. We held a zero for ever, the whole marriage. And right now we've been in negative, according to our actual zero, our zero, not the bank account zero, for a minute, 18 months minute.
Yeah.
As we claw through and learn. But having that established 0 point, understanding each other, Michaela was a spender, is converting to the light side. For those that don't know, I'm a saver.
Yes.
And when I spend big.
Yep.
But I'm the 2 and 3 and 4 marshmallow guy. I will wait and wait and wait. I don't spend on 50-cent earrings. Michaela's mentioned in the past buying little cheap earrings at Charming Charlie's. I don't spend it on 50-cent earrings. I'll spend it on a multi-$1,000 watch.
Fact.
Or a car. Or high ticket items. But I will wait things out for years to do that.
Yeah. Another thing I want to touch on, going back to rent, is when you're sitting down having these conversations, when you are going over your budgets, if you struggle with this, sit down and think, are we living outside of our means?
Mm-hmm.
So many people do this. And it's because you want the nice car, or you want the nice house, or you want the nice things. Where are you spending your money? And if you are getting below your zero, or if you are just living paycheck to paycheck and just struggling, sit back, have a conversation, and be like, is this what we want to live? Because it's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It causes so much stress in your marriage, in your family life, especially for the husband, the provider. That's hard when you are struggling paycheck to paycheck. Sit back and say, is this what we want? Or do we swallow our pride, swallow our ego, and say, listen, why don't we downsize for a while, just for a little bit? It's not what we're used to. It's not what we're comfortable with. But whatever place that you're spending all your money, why don't we lower that, downsize? And this is just a short season that, we take a step back and save and put our money into investments and savings, and not being so stressed every single month on how am I going to pay my bills. There's always somewhere you can save. Look at all your subscriptions. Do you have way too many subscriptions? What about a car wash pass? Guess what? Wash your own car. Like, there are so many little things that you can be like, all right, let's take this out. All right, let's take this out. Mm-hmm. When we were in a really tight place, our gym membership, which is super, super important to us, both of us are very big into our health. I was looking through all of our subscriptions and I was like, where can we cut back? And one of the bigger ones was our gym membership every month. So what did I do? I went to our gym and I went and got a job in the kid care. Mm-hmm. And I found out that we could both get a free membership, which is so cool, that I work 2 days a week for 4 hours a week. I get to take my kids to work with me, so I don't have to worry about a babysitter. And I'm saving us that money for that membership, and I'm getting a little bit extra money every month. And that was something that I could do, that I could help in that really hard time. Like, there are so many ways to make money. If you are struggling, take away those subscriptions, take away all the extra stuff, and find the extra ways to make money. There's so many ways.
Yep. It's important to take control of this aspect of your life. It's not all about money, but it is all about money. You cannot survive in this world without financial cash flow. It's not going to happen. You need to pay rent or mortgage. You need to buy food. You need to do these things. And yes, you can get very, very, very lean. We have watched and experienced very, 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 very lean. And it's important. I think about the Jim Carrey quote. I'm not going to try and give it exactly because I will butcher it, but it's effectively, if you will not scale back your life for 1 year to get the life you want, you care too much about what people think.
Boom.
And we have scaled back our life for the last 12 months. If you recall other episodes on the You're Holding Us Back, we were living on the house in the hill in the gated community in the house we couldn't afford. We were there. And we looked at the budget and said, we can't afford to live here right now. Move out, put renters in, find somewhere cheaper. So we did. If you think you're stuck where you're at, I promise you, you're not. If you're in rent or mortgage that's too high, move out, sublease it, rent out your house if you own it. Instead of eating out all the time, cut that out. There was a moment in time where we actually sat down and looked at how much we were spending on eating out. It was like $800 a month.
It was so much.
At that point in time. And our budget was only set for $300 a month for food.
The cool thing that we did in a very tight budget was I could not control my spending on food. And so I actually, we decided to do full cash for food. And that's hard. That was not easy because you're carrying all this cash around. You got the coins, you got everything, but I couldn't control myself with a card. I could not stay in our food budget to save my life. And so we decided for me that we were going to do cash. And we did full cash every month. We have $300 a month for food. This was before we had kids. But we were like, this is it. This is all we got for the month. And we were really good for a while at staying in that.
Yeah, we didn't give ourselves another option.
But that's what we had to do.
And we did that for about 10 or 11 months until it was easy peasy lemon squeezy and we got in a habit and a routine. And that's really what this comes down to is you need to get in a habit and a routine that works for you guys. This is what works for us. And we did this based off who we are as people. We made decisions to accommodate each other's needs because it drives me bat crazy when things go out. I just look at the bank account like, why is that? Why is that? $5 here, $2 there, $4 here. It drives me nuts, but it drives her nuts, or did drive her nuts, I should say, to not get those little things because she receives gifts. It's one of her love languages. So she was gifting herself. So understanding who you are, who your spouse or significant other is, make accommodations so they still felt heard, still feel loved, still feel validated, still feel understood. And I promise you, the fights, the arguments, the nitpickings on the financial world, that will go away.
Yeah. Just have the conversations. Have the conversations about finances on a regular basis. Talk about where you're struggling, what you're spending all your money on. Is that where you want to spend all your money? We learned that we want to invest more in experiences and in traveling. That's where we want to invest our money. And that was a realization for me that all the little trinkets and things that I buy, I don't actually want that. I want the experiences. I want to travel. That is important to me, and that brings me joy. And having that realization has actually helped me to be like, actually, I don't need this because I'm saving up for a trip to Hawaii or whatever it may be. Like, where do you want to invest your money?
What do you want, and are you experiencing that? And we will end on that note. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper.
And you'll find me at Draper Choosing Us.
Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, we love you guys. Bye.